Heating, cooking, every day millions of people in France rely on gas. And some of that gas comes from deep in the Amazon rainforest. We're in Peru, at Camisea, one of South America's largest gas fields, run by some of the biggest players in the industry. Gas extraction has turned centuries-old traditions upside down. Today, in the lungs of our planet, flares spew toxic gases. Rivers are in distress.
Se nota que es grasa. Aquí también toda la superficie del agua está cubierta de grasa.
Our investigation reveals that French banks fund companies in this project, despite their environmental pledges.
This is a clear case of greenwashing. It makes us question what banks are really doing with our money.
In Paris, the message is clear. The energy transition is underway. France's financial sector says it's on board. Major banks and their affiliates say they're turning away from fossil fuels.
Our job is to help companies in their transition so they can gradually reduce their emissions.
We've published financing pathways that are publicly available.
BNP Paribas has made firm commitments. We will no longer finance projects that extract carbon from the ground. So, no more funding for oil exploration, oil development, or gas. We made it clear on our website that we are stopping such financing.
Yet, these very same banks finance companies that are drilling into the Amazon to extract gas from Peru's Camisea field. France 24 and online media Disclose have obtained exclusive financial data. According to our calculations, 6 major French banks hold 377 million euros in stocks and bonds in 2 companies involved in the project. Crédit Agricole owns more than half of it. None of the banks agreed to comment on the issue. We shared this data with Lucie Pinson, head of the NGO Reclaim Finance. Her job is to track how major banks and their branches fund fossil fuel projects.
All these big banking groups have financing and investment banks. And through their insurance subsidiaries, they're often shareholders or bondholders in oil and gas companies. This shows that we need to look beyond the public commitments of French banks, just like with other multinational corporations. The truth about their practices is, in fact, much less eco-friendly.
These French investments benefit TGP, the company that operates gas pipelines in the Amazon. And especially the Spanish multinational Repsol, responsible for gas extraction. In Peru, Repsol is known for a devastating event that occurred in 2022. The worst oil spill in the country's history. 3 years later, fishermen still wait for compensation. Repsol never responded to our interview requests. To understand the impact of gas extraction, we travel to the Amazon to see how it's affecting the rainforest and its people. Along the Urubamba River, the village of Nuevo Mundo. This is Matsigenga, indigenous territory. Repsol set up its logistics base here. Villagers once used to live off hunting and fishing, but for the past 20 years, gas has been driving the local economy. Companies pay rent, taxes, royalties, around 100 million euros in 2023 alone. Cash that attracts new residents and boosts construction. That day, the village celebrated its anniversary. The remote community was officially recognized by the government 54 years ago. The Spanish company is in the spotlight. Thanks to its investments, many development projects have come to life. New cocoa farms, new schools. After years of poverty, the village chief cannot stop expressing his gratitude.
Muy agradecimiento.
Muchas gracias. Un aplauso.
But behind this rosy picture, along the Urubamba River, criticism is rising.
Let's go further down.
Secundo is a skilled fisherman who knows the river well, but he struggles to feed his family.
That's it. There's nothing left. No more fish.
For him, gas companies are to blame.
Since Repsol came here, there's almost no fish left. Sometimes their big boats cause problems, and sometimes there are gas leaks in the water. All this is killing the fish.
Several communities are in conflict with gas companies, accusing them of polluting their water.
This is our land.
In Kirigeti, it's Repsol's main partner, Argentinian company Plus Petrol, that's extracting the gas. Locals have decided to occupy its facilities and block production.
We've made it clear we won't allow work to resume until a solution is found to protect our water. Investors are only welcome if they respect our environment.
This is where the gas is extracted. The community says that during the rainy season, the well overflows and toxic drilling waste escapes through this pipe.
It smells like hydrocarbons. And it all flows down to the villagers' water source.
Further down, a dozen families get water from this stream. These villagers have used it for drinking, washing and cooking for generations. Since the company arrived 16 years ago, they've all noticed that the spring is drying up and water quality is worse. Plus Petrol denies any wrongdoing, but it's not the first time it's accused of polluting. Back in 2011, at the same spot, hundreds of dead fish lied on the river banks. Suspected pollution from the gas wells. Yet nothing's been officially proven. Despite our requests, the company refused to share the scientific studies carried out at the time. Companies insist efforts are being made to monitor the situation across the area. Locals can sign up to become environmental controllers. Elena is one of them. She's from the village of Chocoriari and was trained by TGP, the very company operating the pipeline.
Is that what you do in case of a leak?
Yes, they trained us for that as well.
Elena is trained and even paid by the company she's supposed to monitor. Many doubt the independence of these controllers. Once a month, Elena checks the pipeline. She's accompanied by Father Joel, who's also concerned about the impact of gas extraction in the region.
So the pipeline beneath our feet runs under the river?
Yes, it's buried very deep.
Underneath?
Yes, under the river.
Elena's job is to inspect slope protection and soil stability.
It's solid here. The membrane isn't damaged. It's sturdy. Below, there are rocks held in place by wire mesh.
Yet, despite regular monitoring, accidents still occur. 8 pipeline leaks have been reported in the area. The latest was in 2018.
Ahí está viniendo más gas.
That day, 12 people were trapped on a boat. The mist you see over the water is a cloud of gas leaking from a crack in the pipeline buried beneath the river. Oxygen became scarce. The boat's engine stalled. Jonar was on the boat. He says he was poisoned by the gas.
We thought we were all going to die. We were suffocating. We couldn't row. The air was full of gas. A couple of us almost fainted.
After a few minutes, the passengers managed to reach the shore. Several of them told us they suffered from ongoing chest pain and coughing. They say the company never gave them any medical follow-up. This bubbling water was the source of the leak. Gabriel is an environmental controller. He was one of the first to reach it. On social media, he spoke out about the effects of gas on wildlife and on plants. Gabriel was then fired by his employer, a TGP partner.
The company called me and asked, "Why did you post those photos?" They yelled at me. The following month, I was no longer part of the program. They said there was no more budget for my position and I had to leave.
The work of environmental controllers is proving frustrating. Gimes Rios knows all about it. He works for Repsol. He tells us the Spanish company regularly conducts tests around the drilling sites. Yet their outcome remains a mystery.
The company used to send us their reports. But since they started production, they stopped sharing anything. They still do their own tests with the lab they work with. They have all the data, but they're not giving me the results. The village chiefs are putting pressure on me. They want to know how the air, soil, and water are affected. They think something's dodgy.
Repsol seems to have free rein. We've also discovered that the Peruvian Ministry of Environment received a complaint against Repsol in 2019, denouncing an alleged toxic spill. The whistleblower wanted to remain anonymous, but we uncovered his identity. He's not a member of the local community, but a European expat, a former Repsol manager in the area. So even within the company, red flags were raised.
I am saying I am not too interested in speaking about this.
We reached him, but he refused to tell us more.
Thank you.
Querido Perú, desde hace 20 años, el gas de camisea está presente en la vida de millones de peruanos.
In Peru, a quarter of the population lives in poverty. Gas is one of the main energy sources, a key generator of foreign income. As for the remote Amazon region, it's still waiting on promises of development. Drinkable water isn't available. Beer, however, flows freely. Alcoholism is rampant. Poverty and hunger remain widespread. 1 in 2 children suffers from anemia and malnutrition.
Está chiquitita.
para su edad. Tú no te estás alimentando bien. No está creciendo la bebé.
The race for gas threatens the indigenous people's entire way of life. Their lands are taken by multinationals and newcomers, settlers who seize business opportunities, buy land, and raise cattle.
They want bigger farms. They always want more. What will happen to our children? When the settlers own all the land, we'll be their workers, and they'll have everything.
As settlers and the gas project expand, more trees are cut down. Yet another threat to the future of the Amazon.